Time to talk some classic sci-fi with Star Trek and the Corbomite maneuver. Yeah, this was one of the first episodes, or probably is the first episode, where we see Captain Kirk's bluffing skills, yes. And of course, indicative of his constant ability to cheat death. Yeah, that's right. He's always finding a way out. and this is where they're in quite the fix here. And Spock suggests, well, in chess, there's only so many moves, and then it's over. It's checkmate, But then Kirk turns it around. The game isn't chess, Spock, but rather poker. Yeah, well, and of course you have to, again, bluff your way out of something. So, another element of this is something that we will see repeated in Star Trek in later series, most notably Star Trek The Next Generation, in which you have a crewman who's just not altogether with it, he's the guy you kind of feel sorry for him, and you want to help him along, but man, he's just not keeping up, and well, you hope it all works out and whatnot. So we have this crewman named Bailey, and he's kind of a klutz a bit, and overly nervous and aware of this, and in extreme situations, he kind of falls apart, and he loses it in this episode. So basically what it is, they're going once again into parts unknown in deep space, even though later Kirk says nothing is unknown, it's just things we don't know yet, or something like that. It's like, wait a minute. But anyway, and they encounter this probe, and it seems to be hostile. There's some deadly radiation emitting from it, and they work to break free. They can't, and then they eventually destroy it. And then, boy, we managed to get through that one, huh? And then all of a sudden, this ginormous ship that's, well, basically, it's a giant ball made of balls. Yes. and it's huge. And, well, they're in the fix now. And the alien captain of the ship tells them, because they've proven themselves to be hostile and a danger, as a warning to anyone else from their species who might want to venture into their territory, they're going to be destroyed. And they can't escape. They tried, and they're just too powerful, and their technology far superior to theirs. And so they're stuck. And at one point, Bailey loses his marbles there, and Kirk relieves him and all this. But the thing of it is established that Bailey apparently reminds Kirk of himself in his younger years, and so he's kind of pushing him to step up to the job because he feels he can handle it. He just needs to get over his nervousness and his fears. The only problem here is that the actor playing the guy, he doesn't look all that much younger than Shatner here. But I get maybe like a handful of years it wouldn't have, but anyway. So that's the situation there. And this sets up a warning from Dr. McCoy. He says, I don't think he's really up to it. I think you ought to back off and, transfer him to another position. This is too serious. I want to be a part of the bridge crew and all that. And Kirk, no, I think he can handle it. And then you're in this very dangerous situation, and he cracks. And they all start to lose it after a while. The aliens give them 10 minutes or whatever to get their things in order and say their prayers and all that, and then they're going to be disintegrated. And they're still trying to figure out how to get out of it. And then there's even a moment where even Spock kind of breaks, that's when he makes this comment about chess, and Kirk kind of snaps at him, chess, that's your best idea, whatever, something like that. And then Spock's like, I'm sorry, I mean, I can't offer any solution, and all that. And then he and McCoy get in it. Now, the situation with McCoy, of course, they're on edge and everything, but McCoy tells him, I'm gonna write up a report. You were out of bounds with Bailey, and you pushed him and all that. And And I'm not bluffing, and that's when it gives Kirk the idea, oh yeah, we can bluff him and all that. But at the time, they're at each other, and I'm like, you think that's the moment when McCoy would bring this up? Well, he's desperate to get his mind distracted from their impending death. Yeah, I don't know. But, there's going to be a flaw here or two around. But ultimately, the whole point of it is it's ultimately the alien, of course, is playing with them. But Kirk comes up with this clever idea. With the Corbomite is some BS thing he makes up, and says that when you attempt to destroy our ship, the force you use will be returned to you and magnified or whatever, and destroy everything within the vicinity. And this is our warning to anyone who would come to us with hostile intent. Well, the alien can't really prove whether or not he has that, so then he says, well, all right, we're going to take you to some planet where you can live, but we're still going to destroy your ship. And so, changes it. And then it reveals that, it's only a smaller ship that'll tow them off to this other planet. And it's just, it's just a couple of balls. And so off they go. And then, of course, they break away from this ship, and apparently rendering it inert. And when they realize that the ship's damaged and the captain on the ship is sitting out an SOS, but they fear that the larger mothership is too far away to hear the call, and so they're probably just going to die in their ship, Kirk decides to show mercy, and so this can better, with this type of gesture, they'll see that we're not, a hostile race or what have you. And so, of course, they beam over to the ship, and lo and behold, the alien is just a puppet, and the real alien is Opie Cunningham's little brother, Clint Howard. It's just this little kid sitting there, and with a dubbed voice and all that. And he invites them to come on in and sit down. I was just playing games. We were just trying to see what kind of people you were. And have a seat and have some Tranya. So it's this drink he offers them. Of course, they're all hesitant to drink it. And he says, oh, wait, let me take the first sip. But of course, and then they all, okay. So they all start drinking it. Hey, how do you know he's not immune to the poison? But, it's all right. We're all friends now. And so then the alien, Clint, says, hey, you know what? I'm just lonely and bored. I don't have a crew. I run this whole ship from here and all that sort of stuff. Could one of you hang out? And so Kirk figures, hey, let's dump Bailey on him. And that's what they do. So there you go. But it offered the idea that they could learn from each other, even though Bailey is not the best representation of the peak of human ability or what have you. But then he would be more evidence of the flaws, and that you could learn more from that, or what? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. So that's how they left it with that. We never hear about Bailey again. We don't know what happened. But I guess it all worked out. This is one of these shows where it's pretty obvious to me that this is where you can see it shot out of sequence. It might have been the second one they did. I don't know. Sometimes the uniforms look a little off. They look like they haven't been completely stitched up yet. And the collars look a lot thicker, like on Spock and whatnot. And Uhura's in a gold uniform instead of the red. So, I don't know what that's about. And then there's a scene where Yeoman Rand interacts with Kirk, and it's presented as if it's the first time she's on the scene. I'm thinking it probably was. And Kirk is like annoyed with her around and all this type of stuff. And it's odd because they're in another thing that's kind of out of place is, the countdown's going, they're facing their doom, and then here comes Yeoman Rand to say, hey, how about some coffee? And they're like, oh, but it's clever because apparently, there were power outages. And he said, well, how'd you warm it? And he says, I used a phaser. And it's like, hey, that's great, Janice. I guess no one told you we're all about to die, But So anyway, it's just something it seemed that way from the looks of it, that some of these shows were shot out of sequence and that sort of thing. But anyway, so Corbomite Maneuver, it will come up again, and of course this is typical of Kirk's strategy, and able to bluff his way out of something and tricking enemies, much to their embarrassment, on quite a few occasions. But of course this time it was all harmless. The guy was just playing with him, huh? Yeah, that's great. Scared them to death. But it's all, hey, have some Tranya, come on. Anyway, Star Trek, the Corbomite Maneuver. The next one will be their only two-part episode, the Menagerie, which is how they made clever use of that original pilot that never aired. So until, later. Released on Blu-ray and all that. So there you go. We'll rejoin them, but first we'll do another classic episode of Doctor Who. So visit with me then, won't you? Yes, you will. And in the meantime, why not like and subscribe? Yeah. And check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Yeah, you. And also, you can check out my podcast at radiomisfits.com. And, of course, you can also find my videos at BitChute, bitchute.com.